But look at it this way. In just 5 years, China has gone from making that, whatever it is, to making these. Now, with that rate of progress, where are they going to be in 5 years' time?
Well, that does take us back to our original question, actually. So, in 5 years' time, everybody will be driving Chinese cars. Yes, we probably will.
We are doomed. But look at it.
I'm going to show you something absolutely crazy. Just 10 years ago, VW was building more cars in China than in Germany. And GM was making so much money in China, it literally saved their company back home. It was a non-stop cash machine. But fast forward to today and everything has changed. GM is shutting down factories, Honda is tearing down brand new production lines, and Toyota is doing BOGO deals on their cars because no one is buying them. These giant car companies are handing their factories over to Chinese brands that didn't even exist 15 years ago. And if you think this is normal, you have no idea what's coming. The numbers behind this are crazy. Are you ready for this? Let's do it.
Now I see why America bans a lot of these Chinese electrical vehicles from being sold in America. Like, just look at this car. This is the Li i8. Look at the interior, the leather, the 2 screens, one for the passenger, one for the driver, ambient lights. I mean, the car just looks luxury. For electrical vehicle too, 6-seater, cushions for the seats. I mean, this is a top of the line car, I'm not gonna lie. Has the big screen here for the back. I mean, this car is pretty much decked out. And the crazy thing about it, it's $5,000 less than a Tesla Model Y, which is the crazy part. Like, these cars would literally take over if they were being sold in America, no funny. Because of the pricing, has more features, and it actually looks better to me. I don't know what y'all think.
We made laws for net zero, and then we turn around and ban the very same cars that will allow us to go to net zero. I mean, absolutely insane. It's crazy to think that in 2008, China became the biggest car market in the world, bigger than America. And Western car companies were celebrating. VW was selling 20% of its cars in China. If you owned a Buick, you were considered super rich. Their plan was so simple. They sold 10-year-old models, added some shiny chrome, and charged a huge premium. For 15 years, they were printing billions of dollars, and then it just stopped. Because while they were getting rich, Chinese companies were playing a different game. They started as copycats, but then they started to innovate. They didn't care about old gas engines. They went all in on electric cars, making them into giant smartphones on wheels. And they did it at lightning speed. Now, look at BYD, for example. They went from making bad copies to becoming the biggest EV maker on the planet in just 10 years. Geely didn't just buy Volvo. They absorbed all their tech and started new brands for young people who think old car companies are boring. And then we have Wuling. They made a car for only $5,000. People were buying 2 of them. By the time the old car companies realized what was happening, it was already too late. The game had completely changed. So, how did China do this? I'm going to tell you how. First up is speed. For VW to make a new car, it takes about 5 years. A Chinese company does it in 3. How? The old companies work super slow. But the new Chinese companies, they have everyone. Engineers, designers, suppliers working together at the very same time. This allowed them to make the changes instantly. Again, that's just insane.
Behind me is a Xiaomi SU7, and this is one of the most impressive vehicles from China. This makes 673 horsepower, can do 497 miles on a charge. It can go 10 to 80% in 20 minutes, and because it's all-wheel drive, the 0 to 60, 2.7 seconds. You get drilled Brembo brakes, you have sticky Michelin tires, and you get air suspension to keep you comfortable. You also get an active wing here in the back, you get a lot of space here in the front, and a lot in the back with even more under there. And inside, I get this gigantic glass roof, speakers on my headrest, bucket seats that are heated and ventilated. I have a touchscreen that works super fast, 2 wireless charging pads, physical AC controls. I can adjust my wing, adjust my suspension. I get storage in here, tons of storage space under here. I have an augmented reality head-up display, a camera to make sure I don't fall asleep, and a boost mode. I also have an area to mount a GoPro, and my screen can do this.
Wow.
I get good space in the back, built-in cup holders. I have storage space right here and a built-in cooler. I don't know what's more impressive, the fact that this is $41,500 US, the fact that they make an ultra version that beat a Taycan around the Nürburgring, or the fact that this is the first car this company's ever made.
Next up is scale. The government gave out billions of dollars in subsidies, which was a huge boost. But the real secret was competition between cities. It was a war. Shenzhen poured money into BYD. Shanghai went all in on SAIC, and Hubei bet everything it had on NIO. Cities were literally paid for factories just to get cool car brand. This competition started with 500 EV companies, but by 2023, only 100 survived, and they are now the best in the world. And then there's software. Foreign cars have terrible infotainment systems. In China, people expect their cars to update every month like a phone. If it doesn't, the car is worth way less money. And the craziest part? The batteries. In 2013, a battery cost around $700. Today, Chinese companies like CATL and BYD make them for under $70. Western companies literally buy the same batteries, but their process is so bad and slow, it makes no sense. So, a Chinese EV is 30% cheaper before it even leaves the factory. The numbers are absolutely brutal. In 2015, foreign brands had 64% of the market. By 2030, it's predicted to be just 24%. Volkswagen used to sell 3 million cars. Now, they can barely sell 2 million cars. GM sales crashed so hard they're closing factories. And get this, Ford factories in China are so empty that crickets are living in it. You can actually hear them, and that is absolutely no joke.
China's biggest tech brand, Xiaomi, just built a supercar to silence the auto world. The SU7 is fully electric, brutally fast. Dual motors, 664 horsepower, 0 to 100 in 2.78 seconds. That's faster than a Porsche Taycan. But what's scarier? It's smart. HyperOS connects your phone, your home, even your voice. This isn't just a car. It's a rolling device with instincts, and the world noticed. On launch night alone, over 88,000 orders hit the system in just 24 hours. This isn't hype, it's invasion. Inside, you get a 16-inch screen, face unlock, Dolby sound, and a fighter jet wheel. LiDAR sensors scan the road. It parks itself, drives itself, updates like your phone. With 800-plus kilometer range, it doesn't stop unless you do. Xiaomi didn't join the EV race to compete. They came to dominate, and the SU7 is just the first bullet.
Meanwhile, BYD sold more electric cars in China last year than every single foreign brand combined. Nissan and Honda are literally closing down stores just to survive. The president of Toyota even said, "We are in danger of becoming irrelevant." When your multi-billion-dollar factories are empty, you don't have a business, you have an expensive hobby. This isn't just a small change. This is the entire world being flipped upside down. If you think this is as crazy as I do, smash that subscribe button right now, because next, I'm going to show you how these Chinese brands are taking over Europe and Mexico and changing the entire world. You don't want to miss this.
You know why a lot of Japanese automotive engineers now are purchasing Chinese cars over back to Japan, dismantling them and studying their cars? A lot. I tell you, this is happening like crazy. And also during motor shows, 20 years ago or 15 years ago, it was the Chinese car makers who go all over to the Japanese booth and the German booth to look at their cars, to measure things, to touch and feel things, look at mechanisms and all that. But now it's the reverse. Now during motor shows, the German engineers are the ones seen hogging the Chinese booths, touching materials, checking out different mechanisms, different molding parts and all that, because the Chinese car industry has an explosion of new materials, new mixture of materials, crazy stuffs like putting rubber and plastic together, molding into one piece. Is a lot of this type of crazy stuff that they are doing, and sometimes it's just they're so confident with their stuff, right? They just do things like that. Look at this. This is intentional.
Everyone says China just used subsidies, and yeah, they did. But the real genius move was making a clear plan. In 2017, China set a deadline for cars to die. It was a countdown timer they couldn't stop. Car companies hate not knowing what's next, and China told them exactly what was coming. Then they did something wild with license plates. In big cities, if you bought an EV, you got your license plates tomorrow. If you bought a gas car, you had to wait months and get lucky in a lottery. It was a no-brainer. On top of that, they made super strict rules for batteries that only the Chinese companies could meet. And then COVID hit. While the rest of the world's factory shut down, China's factories were running at 110% speed. It was like a race where one team had to stop and tie their shoes, and the other team just kept sprinting. This is where it even gets crazier. China is now exporting 1 out of every 5 cars it makes. This isn't just a China thing anymore. BYD's exports just exploded by over 187% in 1 year. They're shipping fully built cars to New Zealand, Norway, and Brazil. And these cars, they aren't bad cars. They're getting the best safety ratings in Australia and Latin America. The made in China stereotype is completely dead. These cars are now the best. Even in Europe, which has the strictest rules in the world, China's EVs doubled their market share to 8% in just 1 year.
If this car came to America, Tesla would be cooked. This competes against a Model Y. It's electric, but if I don't have time to charge, I can put gas in here and that'll power my generator under the hood to give me over 700 miles of range. You also get air suspension and LiDAR for self-driving. And to let others know it's driving itself, the side lights will turn blue. Pretty cool. Inside, you get pillows in your headrest, heated and ventilated seats that also massage you. My passenger screen also works super fast. My driver display works super fast. I get 2 wireless charging pads with a fan to cool off my phone, storage space in there, more storage space under here. I get a driving display on my steering wheel, and my head-up display shows me my blind spots. You also get a built-in camera to take pictures, and it can even do it just of the rear passengers. If I push this button, that'll turn on my lights for a better quality photo. And because it has built-in AI, I can just point at something and it knows what I'm talking about. Guanbi, zhuge. Even if you're 6 feet tall and scoot the seat all the way back, you still have plenty of space in the rear for a car seat. And to make sure you don't wake your kids, it has soft close. If your kids are older, they can enjoy heated and ventilated seats that can recline and massage you. I have a built-in footrest right down here. I have a built-in cooler that can also double to keep food hot. And because kids always lose the remote, I just use my hand. But don't think I forgot about the parents. Tell me this isn't cool. And if you need to fit really long items, you can do that too. It even has a Sentry mode to monitor your car. And did I mention how quiet this is?
So basically, they want us to start living in our cars. China is on track to sell 15.5 million electric cars in 2025. And that's almost half of all cars sold. And a giant chunk of those are being shipped to the rest of the world. So, can VW, Toyota, or GM even do anything? They're trying. VW says they'll launch 30 new EVs in China. Toyota is trying to make Lexus an all-electric brand. But listen to this. The CEO of Ford admitted that Chinese EV companies are far superior. Ford is now buying battery tech from BYD. Mercedes is teaming up with Chinese companies for their batteries and their software. It's an act of pure desperation.
It's the most humbling thing I've ever seen. 70% of all EVs in the world, electric vehicles, are made in China. They have far superior in-vehicle technology. Huawei and Xiaomi are in every car. They have facial recognition.
Cell phone technology.
Yes. Yes.
Connected to their cell phones.
Yes. You get in, you don't have to pair your phone. Automatically, your whole digital life is mirrored in the car. You have an AI companion that you can talk to, chat GPT equivalent in China to all the automatic payment is already there. You can buy movie tickets. It has facial recognition, so it knows who's in which seat and which media you like.
Wait, why don't Ford cars have that? Would you need to
Because-
deal with Apple or?
Yeah, because Google and Apple decided not to go in the car business, and even beyond that, their cost, their quality of their vehicles is far superior to what I see in the West. I mean, we are in a global competition with China, and it's not just EVs. And if we lose this, we do not have a future at Ford.
They're all admitting that they lost. When you have to buy technology from the company that's destroying you, you are no longer in charge. You're the student and you're paying a lot of money for the lesson. So what happens next? By 2030, Chinese brands are predicted to have 72% of their own market. Foreign companies will be fighting for scraps. We're going to see way more factories getting sold off. And don't be surprised if you see Hyundai or others shutting down even more plants this year. But the real war is happening outside of China. Chinese companies are building factories in Thailand, Turkey, and Mexico to get around the taxes. They're doing exactly what Japan and Korea did, but a million times faster. If the old car companies can't protect their home turf in Europe and America, they are literally going to collapse. The next time you see a cool, cheap EV on the street, don't be shocked if the brand is Chinese. It's not a maybe. It's already happening.
I know why Chinese cars aren't sold in America. Because they would dominate. This is the Yangwang U8. It's the luxury arm of BYD. You get LiDAR sensors here, more LiDAR up there. In the front, your main headlights are here, but at night, this entire thing lights up, and it looks amazing. You get one electric motor on each wheel, and combined, it makes 1,180 horsepower. And if you need to do a quick U-turn, watch this. So my charge port is here, and when I open it, this will tell me my charge level. But on this side, you put in gas. That powers your turbo 4-cylinder generator. This doesn't power the car, it just makes electricity for those motors. On a full charge and a full tank of gas, this can do over 600 miles. Inside, you get this panoramic roof that literally has shooting stars, and it can also do this. Ni hao, Yangwang.
我在
Kai Tian Trunk.
说到。
You also get pillows in your headrest. My seats are heated, ventilated, and massaging. I get a passenger screen, ambient lighting underneath, more ambient lighting up here, and this curved display that works ultra fast. You also get a front and rear locker, 50-watt charging pads, a built-in cooler, storage space under here, and what's this? Smile. You also get this driver display with touch controls, this gorgeous steering wheel, tons of space in the back, a screen here, another one there, a third screen here, and another wireless charging pad. Not only are my back seats heated and ventilated, they can also massage me. Even my trunk has leather, wood, and suede, and look how big it is. It also has hydraulic suspension and can float in water.
So China just didn't beat foreign cars in its own country. It's now exporting this takeover to the entire world. The car industry will never be the same again. If you want to know which companies will survive, which giant factories will close next, and see how insanely cheap these cars are about to get, you have to subscribe and hit the notification bell. This is the biggest change in the car world ever, and it's not slowing down. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you in the next episode.